What are the best leg exercises you can do without killing your knees? And to be honest, no leg exercises should kill your knees ever at all, period, the end. If there are leg exercises that are killing your knees, there's a better chance that your form is incorrect. So or maybe your form isn't incorrect, but you've got some arthritis, you've got an underlying condition. So it really just kind of depends on what you mean by killing your knees. I'm going to show you some of my favorite leg exercises and the best way to do them. Body weight stuff, right? A couple different options. If you want some great lower body leg exercises that, like I said, don't kill your knees, you need to focus on hinging. So your knees are a secondary hinge point. Your hips are your primary mover. Your knees are your secondary mover. So if your knees are moving before your hips, unless that's the name of the game, unless that's the whole point of the exercise, you're doing it incorrectly. So your hips should move first, right? So, for example, right here. Grab you a barbell, grab you a kettlebell, grab you a dumbbell. I'm going to show you how to hinge. So if you take this barbell, what you're going to do, your hips hinge from this joint right here, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to draw in and you're going to hinge backwards like this, right? So to start, we load up the hips and then you bend the knees. But it's not a this, right? So it's like this. You keep it close to you and then you hinge back and you come forward and you back and forward. So as you can see, I'm loading my hips. So the force is going through my heels and it's loading through the hips first. The knees didn't move. So that's step number one. Here's something else that you can do. You can do, one of my favorites are Bulgarian split squats. See right there. You can do this on a bench. You don't have to have one of these. I like these better because they prevent you from cheating. Any kind of one-legged exercise is great as long as you do it properly. So with Bulgarian split squats, they're harder, but it's great for one-leg balance work. And a lot of us have, discrepancies between our legs, right? So one side is stronger than the other. That's how you even that out, right? So what you're going to do, we're going to use this right here. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So I'm going to put my laces of my shoe on this, right? You want to step far enough away. If you don't have one of these, use a bench, right? So most people will do this. That's all knee loaded. We want hip loaded. So you're going to draw in, squeeze nice and tall. Think about dropping your back knee backwards, dropping down, right? And I'm pushing through my heel. My toes are for balance, right? Here to here. So if I go this way, you have to squeeze here, focus on a spot, drop back, and then press up through your heel. Yes, your quads are involved, your glutes are involved, all of this is involved, right? But what I'm not doing is I'm not pushing my knee forward. That whole thing about your knee going over your toes, your knees can go over your toes. However, if you do weighted stuff over your toes, that's a whole different thing. So if you've got knee issues, it might not be the best for you. I don't know, look up knees over toes guy. That's his thing. But anything like that is going to be great. You can also do deadlifts. Deadlifts are some of my favorite things. You can do one-leg deadlifts. So again, if you don't have, Bulgarian split squats are my favorites because you can do them anywhere. You can do them on the road, you can do them backstage, you can do them in a hotel. They're just body weight, right? I am not a fan of lunges just because I hate them, but they're great for you. I just don't like them. So if you like lunges and you want a different variation, you can do reverse lunges. Those are great. Again, if you're going to do lunges, and I'll show you reverse because I've got a bunion and it bothers. But if you're going to do lunges, what you're going to do is you're going to step back, watch my knee. It's not going to go forward because, again, we're putting the weight on the heels. Right? So let me find a spot. All right. So if I go here, right, I'm going to go back and down. So you can see my knee is not going this way. It's about here. So we're going backwards, right? Your quad is going to be loaded, and that's fine, but it's not the primary mover, right? So that's probably one of my best suggestions. If you guys have questions, keep going. Let's go. I know it's loud. Hopefully it's helpful. Another thing I like are deadlifts. And if you don't have Not everybody has barbell, right? But if you have kettlebells, you can use that. All right, so I've got a kettlebell right here, yeah? Y'all can see this okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put that kettlebell in between your heels, right? Belly button's in like someone's gonna punch you. You stand up nice and tall. You're gonna hinge backwards until you can't hinge anymore. Squeeze your shoulders back. So see all here is nice and braced, right? Hinge back, and then you're gonna drop and grab in between. But you're gonna come up like that, right? So this doesn't load the knees at all, right? Should be totally fine. And if that's too easy, do a one-leg version, right? Just like that. My other favorite exercise for legs are step downs. A lot of people do step ups, which is great for the quads. I find like a lot of people have poor balance, and step downs are a lot harder. Let's see if I can find let's go see if I can do this. Here we go. All right, so this is what I like to use for step downs. So the key with step downs, and I'm sorry the lighting is terrible, it is what it is. The key with step downs is that you're gonna hinge backwards, keep the weight on your heel. You're gonna stay upright. You'll notice I'm continually saying upright. The hips go backwards, the knee does not travel forwards, okay? So it's like this. So I'm gonna balance right in between, right? So all that weight is on my midfoot. Belly button's in, you're gonna hinge back, touch, come right back up. My knee is not going forward, right? It can, but secondarily. The weight is gonna be here. So you're gonna hinge, touch, come up. What I see a lot of is, we're not doing that, and we're also not resting, right? So if you can't, just hold on until you can. But if you hold on, you don't wanna do that because that's cheating, right? So like this, hinge, touch, come back. So it's essentially a one-leg loaded exercise, but it loads the hip more than the knee.